viewers, this is another episode of the Open Circle. This time around, we came with different kind of style. This discussion based, not argumentative based, as you usually know. But first of all, I want you guys to watch this video.
For some of you that are celebrating Valentine's Day, that have your love planned out and all that, maybe I should educate you a little bit of what Valentine's is all about. Valentine's Day is not about love. Actually, it's about execution, beheading. In the 3rd century, under the Emperor Claudius, Christianity was actually illegal, right? So you're not allowed to practice Christianity. So the Roman Emperor felt that because of that, young men shouldn't get married. Young Christians men shouldn't get married. They need to be recruited into the army. So he was restricting young men from getting married. But a particular man named Valentine, a priest, refused this order and was wedding Christians secretly. And when he found out, he was brought out and executed, beheaded. And guess what day that was? February 14th. And that is what February 14th was named after. Not Romans, but martyrdom. So while he was in prison, tradition says that he actually healed this young lady from a sickness. And during the day of his execution, he wrote a letter to her and said, "From your Valentine." And while you're trying to go and look for who will be your Valentine, his skull is actually being displayed in Rome as we speak with flowers. Yes.
Okay. I think based on the video, you guys already have a clue of what you want to talk about, right? In the season of Valentine. So if people say they don't give you a clue about Valentine, how would you know? Where would you know from? So right now, based on the video, I think we're going to chip in, giving our insight on what to think about Valentine, compared to what our viewers saying in support of what the video say. Personally, the video talk about how Valentine is not for love because it involves beheading of persecution per se. But I think I'm of the notion that Valentine is made for love. If you look at the description of the video, it was like Saint Valentine per se was persecuted because he was secretly, wedding young men and women because of the emperor at that time.
The men that are in army.
Yeah, the emperor of the Roman Empire.
They don't allow the army then to
the young men in army because he believes that young men and married men don't usually function as he wants, as he perceives them if they are married. So he tends to not let them marry so that they perform the military. So Saint Valentine per se secretly wed these young men, and eventually he was caught and executed, beheaded per se. So, but if you look at everything that happened based on the story, right, you notice that that's an excuse. I think that's excusable enough for we to indicate that February 14 was meant for love, because someone sacrificed himself. He believed in love, he believed in marriage, and he believed in commitment. So, what day do you think will be best if not February 14? That someone died for what he believed in, which is actually love. So, I think that video for me, I think it's flawed because when you look at so should we not say because of Christmas and because of Christians are being persecuted, we shouldn't celebrate Christmas if we want to go through that lane, or we shouldn't practice democracy because of it involves bloody revolution. So you see, if anything comes up, people don't tend to look for what we fit into their idea that it's not about love, it's about what they think it should be, it's about money, it's about persecution. No, personally I think it's for love because someone sacrificed, gave up himself for love.
You said it's for love, but they beheaded him. You
look at the sacrifice. What happened? What did he die for? Was it not for love? He believed in love.
Is it for love?
Well, though it doesn't necessarily mean that it is for love. Perhaps guilty, simply guilty. But you see, I think the central idea behind Valentine and why it is a celebration of love actually went further than Saint Valentine's Day, which happened in the 14th century. If you go further, pre-Christian age, the Roman pagan worship fauna, where the central idea is what depicts Valentine. Because during that period, there is the Roman god call now was the god of fertility. So what they do is there is some sort of pairing between a man.
Are you trying to say the 14th century or 4th century?
But actually, I'm talking about the Claudius case, right? The Saint Valentine's case happened in the 14th century.
No, not 14th. I think it's the 2nd century.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Yeah.
269 to
Yeah.
270 AD. That's correct. It happened to that is post-Christian. Yeah. So pre-Christian, there was this pagan worship. So that was what gave the correct depiction of Valentine, because it involved two people. It involved some sort of sexual activity. It involved two people coming together. In fact, part of the what is it called? Part of the festival is to randomly pair a man and a woman together to have sexual intercourse as a way of appealing to the fertility god. So you see, I realize that if you check our modern view of Canada, although I was completing the age with when it was popularized or modernized, which is the 14th century by Geoffrey. Because when he
Is
came,
it the poet?
Geoffrey,
The poet, right?
the poet that we came to modernize the entire thing, and he removed the martyrdom nature of the Valentine and included the romanticized what is it called elements of it, and he now mentioned Saint Valentine because that's where we have our present idea of Valentine is celebration of love, not necessarily, but when he was describing Saint Valentine and he was reflecting back to the Christian age during that festival. Now he mentioned something about love and where birds come to meet each other. So that was where the idea comes in. Two people come together to meet each other. So there was a peak remove, but it doesn't matter. At the end of it all, what matters is what are you celebrating? It doesn't matter whether or not there's some, because even Christianity was actually a pagan worship. In fact, during that point in time, so what people do is to move about naked in society. That's what we said. But we cannot still sit back and because it was a pagan worship, therefore we cannot separate. What does it mean for you personally? That matters.
Diving into history per se, you even notice that the Valentine is not even certain which of the Valentine, because they had the three Valentine, multiple Valentine that have been martyred at that period, right? Even historians can't even, because at the end of the day, the story they mesh together. They just like, okay, they don't, but they can't, because they have Valentine, the Valentine of Kenya and Valentine from Africa, which was eventually martyred. So if you look at that video, he was trying to like pick on one Valentine, the priest, Valentine the priest. So you can't really
the priest was sending a message. Like they said, love message. They said the priest was sending message, and again the girl he healed in the prison. It was also said that he fell in love with the girl or something like that. He healed the girl, and she later sent message to the girl, a letter to the girl which he wrote from the Valentine. So that was where the Valentine.
I think it's not, he didn't fall in love with the girl. I think he killed the girl. Then before his persecution, according to history, he just like got the message to the girl from your Valentine.
He didn't fall in love with the girl. Where did all the love came from?
Yeah. So the idea, I think, if we're talking about Saint Valentine, of that existed under Claudius II, the Roman Emperor, then it makes sense that he's indeed the Valentine that we recognize as the Valentine.
Yeah, it's the Valentine.
Because of the nature of the storyline behind his execution, his own martyrdom, right? So it makes more sense to reference it or to kind of liken it to love. Because what we're trying to do is the fact that bringing two people together is an act of love. They fell in love, a soldier fell in love with a maiden. He feels, it is my duty because this will share something more powerful than whatever this king.
So he believes in love, right?
He believes in love.
But why did the soldiers not decide? At least they would have said, okay, since they said we join the soldier, we will not get married then. They will just.
I think they're being forced into the military.
That's how you get conscripted by force.
Because there have been internal rebellion, even external rebellion, so they need to protect the empire, the Roman Empire.
If you check that era, it is the medieval. It is the medieval age. It actually fell in the medieval age. Because it was until the 14th century where people of that what's it called? This very fantastic. We have Michelangelo, and then we have the Da Vinci. So they came in, they were actually the cornerstone of the Renaissance period, which is the period that divides Renaissance and medieval. So realize that they have to trace back to medieval, and the medieval age, you get forced, you get conscripted into it, but it's a duty. Understand? So you don't have a choice. So that's why it's done in secret. And that is why the consequences of simply consummating that marriage, the consequences is the heaven. That's how bad it was. That's how brutal it was.
I think that medieval period, I think that time was all about state stability, state strength. I think that's what they only think about, the strength. And if you look at the Roman Empire, then they just want strength. The Roman Empire,
there was a lot of war.
They want more territory, and they have this strength of that describe the Roman Empire. So for them to keep all that, they need more military men, I think. But what do you guys think?
Must they get married?
Yes, I think that time they value. No, I think that time they see marriage as sacred. You can't just consummate a girl without getting married. So there's a need for marriage. Not like now, this is now. You can just, the girl can just come to your house and start living and say you guys are married. And that time I think they see marriage. And they believe in this divine being that must be married for it to be sacred. Right? So if you stay with a lady and not married, I think they don't think that God is sacred and that's not fine. And what do you guys think? Why that 14? That's what she's trying to say, because that 14 that was when he was and we see that lovers day, isn't of money. So do you think that you believe that 14 actually is for lovers?
Well, it makes sense if we are going to if we're going to trace our celebration of 14 to Saint Valentine, then and the fact that he was actually beheaded on the 14th makes sense. But again, if we decided to go further down the road or down the what's it called pathway of history, we still get to that same pagan worship, because it happened usually.
Does it fall on the 14th?
It actually falls on the 13th to 15th.
Okay.
So 13th to 15th. So, although
we're talking about our modern history now, we believe that 14th February is for lovers.
Yeah.
That's what this video they just watch now. That's what it's going to talk about. That actually 14 is not for lovers, it's meant for money. So do you agree with him that?
I agree with him actually.
That 14 is meant. But now if you look at the Romans, actually the Roman document, right? They don't see it as money. So why do you want to now,
I think the act is less significant than the reason. For example, the simple act of killing him doesn't really go anywhere.
Yes.
But why was he killed?
Okay, now look at it. No, if you want to
he was killed because he was secretly
look at it. Okay, for example, the American democracy, right? Yeah. Their independence day is being celebrated July 6th, right?
Yes.
So if it was any independent, there may be bloodshed because people die. As a result of that independence, but they are happy that they celebrate that independence. Many nations celebrate independence, but the people they are like there was bloodshed. Why don't you say it's not supposed to be named independent or something else?
That one is different because
no, it's not different. Why that thing
now someone was killed and we're sharing.
Why was that person killed?
The person was killed because he disobeyed the emperor.
The celebration you do is not the act of the killing. Okay, and you say if he wasn't killed, if he was in prison. You understand? If he's in prison,
if he's in prison, maybe that healing more could have happened.
So what happened was that he believed in something. That was why he was killed.
He's a priest.
Yes,
he's a priest, and that is his duty as a priest to do what.
The other things there.
There are some priests, but they're not doing that. They're not disobeying the emperor.
Exactly. Which means
why will he choose to do that? So he has to be killed. He has to be beheaded.
No. If whether or not he has to be killed, we leave that to Claudius II.
Okay. Now, if you look at it, I don't know if there will be more time, but if you look at it, right, the people celebrate at this day, come and they actually went against the colonial masters. Like, what's independent? One self-group. If you want to look about respect, there's respect, you should keep quiet and allow
Exactly.
So the word even fella being celebrated today was against a government, a central government.
He was also a magician.
Yeah, but he was speaking against the government. He was very troublesome to them. If you want to talk about respect, why
are they celebrating him because of his musician, or they're celebrating because of his
for injustice? That's injustice for you to say the most. That's injustice.
Exactly.
So you see, how will you stop love?
Okay.
Being everything as love, right? So
It is love. It makes more sense that it is actually love, which is.
It doesn't make sense because if I'm the emperor, I'll behave even that girl. Even that girl that
Oh,
is,
see,
I will behave to girl.
I think you should understand what this is about.
Yeah,
It's not all about whether or not why he was killed.
Yeah.
Whether or not we're trying to justify why he was killed.
yeah.
No, we're trying to say if we need to celebrate something about that event, what should we celebrate? Is it the act or is it the reason why it happened? I think it was what he stood for that should be celebrated.
So are we celebrating it in the right way in Nigeria?
Well, yes, because okay, you see, when it was our modern idea of Valentine came in in the 18th century after the Gutenberg what is it called, printing press, that is the invention of the printing press.
Yeah.
So that was when it was popularized. That's when you begin to see the idea of that's when you begin to see idea of gift cards, Valentine cards, and how okay, what did Sarah got for Valentine? Where did they go out? So that's the idea. Our modern idea of where are you taking me out to? Actually happening.
Instead of going to mourn that he was beheaded on this day, the idea is sharing flowers. You really send flowers to anybody.
I don't have a girlfriend, but if I have a partner, I think I'll send flowers to her. Yeah, I believe that there should be a day for lovers, and I still remember participating. What other day would be best?
But many people will open their shop and give them money and they are into relationship. You see that it's not for people into relationship.
Yeah, I think most people do go
Because
out
I think they say it's like you can send a gift or flowers to a friend, someone you like, or a family friend. This is why it's a friend, it's something mutual. So must it be someone in serious relationship?
Well, I think Valentine as a concept carries with it certain connotations that relate to romance, and it means therefore that whatever you should be celebrating, of course, modern day, that is contemporary scholars would argue that it could be formal. The celebration should be formal. For example, I sent for my friend a card celebrating Valentine, but in truth, it's just narration trying to fit in certain era. But in truth, actually, it carries with it romance connotation. And it's actually, if you check through history, there's always a man and a woman. You go back to the Christian, it's man, woman. Come to the age of Saint Valentine, it's man, woman. Understand? And then even when Geoffrey Chaucer came in to write that poem, it was actually a love poem in man. So,
and if you look at our Nigeria party, they don't give a man flowers, a man.
Some do. Even your brother will come and meet you to say, "You for me Valentine." Not your brother.
Did not tell your fellow man happy Valentine's.
I say some do. It's not like you're not my brother.
I'll have to get my knuckles bloody.
Whatever, I just enjoyed. I enjoyed the conversation actually, and I hope you guys as well do.
So yeah, I think they will do. So my advice for you is that to enjoy the world as you can, while you can, and Valentine is
and they also know what they're celebrating. Before you celebrate something, you go into research or you come to the open cycle to tell them that we want to know about this, about Christmas, about New Year, about you can come to us and ask us.
I'm of the opinion that people don't pick up your camera and start talking about how things are supposed to be celebrated, because the world be allow human beings to be happy, allow lovers to be happy, allow Christians to be happy, allow Muslims to be happy, to celebrate whatever they want to celebrate.
Exactly. If there was a need for enlightenment, simply enlighten. But coming up to deep of incomplete history just to make a point is.
So do to like, share. Thank you so much.